Sierra, was your breakfast sufficient? Was the French toast good? What's up, everybody? It's snowing here. It's really pretty out. Let me turn the camera on and I'll show you. So there is the view looking outside, and it just started to lighten up a little bit. It was coming down really good to where you couldn't even see that ridge in the background, but now it's starting to kind of mellow, and then it's been coming in waves. We're supposed to be like this until about 4 p.m. today. And so it's going to be a really fun day here at the place. We're just going to chill inside and just kind of hang out and work on some. I've got to download a bunch of. Let me pull this back around. Give you kind of the Pano tour. But I've got to work on a bunch of stuff here. Let me include Sierra, because last week when I was in Central Arizona truck camping. Yeah, well, actually, it was like 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago, I guess, that I went there, and I stayed there for 10 days, and I've got tons of pictures and video files I need to download and send to one of the volunteer groups that I'm a part of. So, planning on doing that today. I've been planning to do that for like a week, and I haven't quite got around to it. And then it looks like my truck needs a new exhaust system, so that's kind of frustrating. But that's independent from the engine. The exhaust is different, so it doesn't have anything to do with the install that I had. But let's get back to let's see this here. I want to see what's going on. All right, let's see. Hi from Maine, the Emster. Hey, how's it going? Have you been able to purchase ranch from family members? Oh yeah, that was last year. So we got that taken care of like 6 months ago. Cliff Mount's so beautiful there. Yeah, I really love it here. I'll turn this back around real quick while I'm saying what's up to people so y'all can look outside. But it's really pretty and really great scenery looking out the window there. So like this lines up. This view lines up with me laying down in my camper looking out on this, which is real nice. So, Simple Trail over there. What's up, man? How you doing? Everything's going good here. Wow, quick change of weather. Yeah, Quantum Bob. It was like 60 last week and 65, and then now it's like snowing, and it's gonna be pretty cold at night for the next couple days, and then we'll thaw out come the weekend. So, Danya Priya, how you doing? Yeah, we got some good weather. It's really nice here. Hope you're having a nice time in Southern California. Robin Holbrook, good morning back at you. Alex, what's up? Terry, what's up with the stream here? The camera looks like it's funky. Are you guys getting some static on here? Because it looks on my end, I have like really bad. It's kind of choppy. Let's see. Huh, that's strange. I don't know why I was doing that. On my end, the screen was going gray. So I don't know. I don't know if it was doing it on your end either, but let's see. All right, let's see. Alex, what's going on? Terry, good morning back at you. Okay, let's see. We got a bunch of Andrea. Good morning, Brandon Sierra. Good morning back at you. Pierce, hi. Hey, back at you. Flathead presents Exposed. Back at you. So jealous of your locations. Yeah, I love it out here. There's no one around either. So that's what's nice about it. It's so nice and peaceful. So every once in a while, like I haven't heard a car go by in a couple of days, but usually there will be a car go by when the weather's nice, like once a day maybe. And it's probably one of the local residents. We don't ever get anybody coming back up in here that's like, joyriding or anything like that. So it's pretty awesome. I really like it. So good morning, Cold and Greeley. Oh yeah. Podig and Stoner. It's my cousin was telling me he's up in Divide, and he said it was -9 up there. But yeah, down the Front Range there, -3 feels -20. I don't miss those temperatures at all. So let's see. Armando Gutierrez was asking, how far am I from people? Well, I do have a neighbor that lives down the road. He's probably about 3/4 of a mile down the road, maybe a mile, or maybe not that much, maybe about 3/4 of a mile. And so there's one guy there, and then that way there's two people that kind of live close to each other. Their ranches are next door to one another, and they both are there full time. And those people are about a mile to the north, and then to the east, I'd say, gosh, probably like a mile and a half. And then to the south of me, there's no one there. So there's really nothing to the south, which is kind of nice. There's ranches, but there's no one that lives there. And there's one that's going to be coming up for sale. It's really nice. It's got these killer views, and there's already a little cabin on it. But those people, I think they live down in Phoenix. And then there's some other people that have property around here from Nevada. but they don't ever come around. I've only seen them once the entire time I've been out here, and they're real nice. And I've got a neighbor across the way, and gosh, excuse me, he and his son come up quite often, or not often, but I've seen them up here a couple times. They're really cool. So it's pretty mellow out here. I really like it. So baby Yoda, -20 F with wind chill here in the springs, 4 inches of snow. Man, we don't have 4 inches of snow here yet. I hope that we get that. We're supposed to get like a 1 to 3 throughout the day, and it's supposed to snow up until 4 p.m. So we'll see what happens. But hopefully it definitely dumps. So you can handle the snow, Danya and Priya, but that wind just works. Yeah, it's same with me. It's pretty the wind has a bite to it for sure. It feels like it's got some moisture. It's a little bit different than being way up in the high ranges of Colorado. So all right, let's see. Good morning from Birmingham. Nick, back at you. Baby Yoda, yep, a little static. Okay, cool. So hopefully that static is all worn out now, or worked itself through. So good morning from Mobile, Alabama. Oh, it's cool. I had a friend of mine from Kansas who moved down to Mobile, and she liked it. She liked being on the coast there. So, all right. So, with Sierra here, I wanted to go ahead and talk about what we're doing and what we've done up to this point, and what we're going to do going forward. Because we've been meeting with the doctors and going over her health and getting everything scanned to make sure that she's in good health. And we recently were in Flagstaff to have a video conference with our oncology team, which is down in Scottsdale, and then also the team up in Flagstaff, which was there. Everybody's awesome. All the doctors that we have for Sierra are great. You can tell they really care, about animals and about their well-being, and they want her to do well. I mean, like in there, and she does her little prance all around and butt wiggle, and then loves seeing the doctors and stuff like that. And so it's good that we've built up a good relationship there. And I really like going up there. It's Aspen Vet Clinic, or Aspen Veterinary Hospital up in Flagstaff, and they don't technically have an oncology unit, but they can administer the chemo, and then we use the consultation from Scottsdale to help supplement that. Otherwise, if we wanted to go down to Scottsdale, I mean, we could, but it's just a much longer drive. It's like probably, I don't know, like a 6 hour round trip as opposed to 2.5 hour round trip. So that it makes it more convenient to go to Flagstaff. And so up until this point, what I've been doing is I've been giving Sierra CBD twice a day. It's I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of a little bit blown out. Okay, I'll tell you what it is. It's called Pet Relief liposomes, 300 milligrams of CBD. It's for dogs, and it's specifically designed for them. It's more absorbent during or after mealtime, so I usually incorporate it with her food. And I use a human grade food for her. It's let's see, it's a bunch of ground up like sweet potatoes and beef and all that stuff, and it's all organic, so it's real good for her, and she loves it. And then when I put this in there, this smells. I mean, it's the one that has the most it's like the full spectrum of CBD, and also the stuff from the hemp plant. But the downside is it's got a kind of a funky taste to it. But I knew that the CBD would be good at keeping cancer cells at bay and stuff like that, and just kind of, it's like a really good natural supplement for them, and it's good for them anyway. I mean, she's getting older, so might as well use some CBD to help with her joints and stuff like that. She doesn't seem to mind it at all. I mean, she just lops down our food like normal, and I think it helps. I mean, her energy levels now. She had 6 tumors in her belly. So she had one in her rear, which was a little over an inch in diameter, and then she had 5 on the underside of her spine. And so the surgeon in Colorado was like, "Look, this is a really hard surgery because you have to do 2 at the same time." And she's like, "But I have done it before, and it's been successful." She's like, "Not a lot of people know how to do this, but it's real risky." And they're like, the reason being is that on the backside of her spine there, where all those lymph nodes were that had cancer, they were intertwined with huge veins and arteries. So you hit one of those, and they're like, lots of times you can't get it to stop. It'll bleed out. But you have to be real careful. And so it took her, I think it was like a 6 hour surgery. It was crazy. And but she came out, and the surgeon was awesome. She's like, I nailed it. I'm like, right on. And so it was pretty cool. And then the people here in Flagstaff are floored that surgeon did this. They're like, we don't know anybody that can do that surgery around here. So it's good that we were in Colorado, when when this situation came up. I mean, I hate that Sierra has to go through this, and it's been super stressful for me. And I don't talk about it as much as it bothers me because it's been tough. But I was just really glad that we were there to get her the help that she needs. And so we're doing the CBD, and then sorry, she's just I just it sucks to have your dog sick, and you know I just look back and I think about all the things that I notice now that were signs that you know she was trying to tell me she was a while, and I didn't pick up on it because I didn't know, and so it's just one of those things. But the good thing is that now that she's done with surgery, she's regained her health, and she's doing great. And I took a little bit of a gamble because the doctors told me, they said, look, the stuff that they thought was a nodule in her chest, in her lungs, they thought that the cancer had spread to her lungs. And I wasn't sold on that because they said, well, we found what we think is a nodule, but we can't tell what it is. And I was thinking, okay, well, if you can't tell what it is, I mean, I understand that you may think that it's cancer, but couldn't it be something else? And I recall that when I was playing with Sierra a couple of years prior to this, we were out in this one area, and she loves chasing sticks and bones. And so when she finds a bone in the backcountry, and typically around hunting season, there's bones all over the place, she'll get all excited and bring it to me and want me to throw it. So she goes and plays fetch. And so I threw it, and with this one bone, and I remember when it hit this rock right about the same time she was going to grab it, and the bone splintered. I held a piece because she started coughing like crazy. And so when the doctors told me that it had spread to her lung, but they couldn't tell if it was a nodule or not for cancer, they're like, there's something there. I immediately recalled that incident when we were playing fetch, and I thought she inhaled something. And I think my suspicion is correct because with the type of lung cancer that if the nodule was lung cancer, she would have been gone by now. So I I intentionally was like, I'm not doing chemo right away. I mean, if it's that quick, we'll see how we can keep her comfortable and stuff like that. But it was I didn't tell people this, but like they told me, they're like, you got about 6 months with her. Well, it's been 6 months now. It's been over 6 months, and that area hasn't grown at all. And so we've done scans on her body. She doesn't have any new growths anywhere else, but she still does have trace amounts of cancer cells in her body, which we'll have to eradicate. And so I've held off on chemo this whole time because I was like, I want to just give her some time to chill out and feel good, because I think she wasn't feeling good for a better part of 2 years. And so that's what I've done, is to give her that time. And then we did a complete, really extensive blood work and physical exam about 3 weeks ago when we were in Flagstaff. We got the results back, and Sarah's doctor was like, I am floored. She has perfect health, like textbook health, other than the fact that she's got cancer cells in her body. But they're like, everything is darn near perfect. And she's like, I am floored. She's like, Sierra's one of these outliers that can have a really bad case of cancer, but then she's like, it looks like things are going great. And I said, well, my truck, unfortunately, looks like it needs exhaust now. So I can't drive it at the moment. I said, so I need to get that fixed. But then after we do that, and I can get back up to Flagstaff, we're going to do a full CT scan of Sierra just to be sure, and see if there's anything else that's come up that's microscopic anywhere else. And that way we can give the doctors a very good overall best picture of her health that we can. Now you can accomplish it also with ultrasounds, but you can't tell what it is. You can just see if there's masses, and you don't know if it's cancer. You don't know if it's just fatty area. You don't know what it is. But if you have a CT scan, then you're able to see it, and it can also be her head too, because that's one thing. Like with the ultrasounds, they don't do the head, and you can you can't really tell with X-rays. There's so many bones, and there's so much different detail inside the head that you can't really tell. And so the CT scan would do that. Unfortunately, they do have to knock her out, so she has to be sedated. So it's kind of like a a little bit of a process. You take her there, and then they sedate her, and that way she doesn't move. when she's in the CT scan machine, getting her body scanned. And so that's going to give them the best picture of her health, and then we can make the determination as far as what we're going forward with. We have pretty much determined right now that the type of cancer or type of chemo that she's going to do, I think it's called palladium. I'll have to look. I can't remember the name. It starts with a P, but it's a type of chemo that's designed specifically for dogs. And so what it does is, instead of like the if it was the injection chemo, that kind of just goes everything, and that's for if it's pretty severe, and that's where if she had a lung issue, that cancer or that type of treatment would probably make more sense because it's more intense. However, that's a hospital visit. She has to be sedated, every time. It's every 3 weeks, and it's pretty. The side effects are more for that. The type of cancer chemo that they're suggesting for her is specifically designed for dogs. Something like half the dogs don't even have any symptoms or side effects from it. And what it is it's designed, instead of going to the whole body, it's designed to go just to the receptors for where the type of cancer or for the where the cancer for the dogs is located. So it goes to those receptors and hits them, and it'll hit a little bit of the dog too, but mainly just hit the cancer. And that way it's much easier on her body. And so that's the route that we're going to go after we have the CT scan results, and go from there. Uh, Costs haven't come in yet total, but the CT scans are around 2,200 bucks, and then the cancer uh, drug, which I can administer, it's actually great. So it'll be every other day. So I could administer it, and we don't have to go in. She doesn't have to be in the hospital, and be put out, and that's kind of traumatic and everything. So don't have to worry about that. This is much easier. We can administer myself, and then we go in for checkups every once in a while, make sure everything's okay. That cancer drug's $1,000 a month, and that's just ongoing. And so that would be something to where, we would continue doing body. And then if I felt that she was in a good enough spot to where we could hold off and not worry about the cancer popping up anywhere, then we could do that, and then you could start again, obviously. And with it being administered at home, it's real simple. So what I'm hoping for is that we can go through a little bit of chemo to get the rest of the cancer cells at bay that were spreading throughout her body, make sure they haven't latched on anywhere else, and then we could use that drug to keep it at bay in conjunction with the CBD and everything else, and just kind of see how it goes. So far, this is the best that I could have possibly asked for. They told me in Denver, they're like, if you don't do anything within a month, she's gone, because her stomach was so wrought with tumors. Her abdomen area was so filled up with tumors that she didn't have much time left. And then we got the tumors out, and she was like, immediately, I could tell that she was feeling better. She wanted to go running around, but I'm like, no, 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 you got to chill. You guys still got a bunch of sutures inside of you that need to heal up. And so she started doing great right after those tumors were removed. So I was like, okay, we're doing good here. What you doing? So you want to come over here? We're talking about you. Everybody loves you. So, but anyway, so long story short, my assumed um my assumption about the nodule on her chest being something other than cancer, I think has proven to be correct. Because like I said, if she did have it, they were telling me like that type of cancer in the lung, it's like 6 months max, and here it is 6 months. And I mean, when we were out running around in central Arizona, and what I was doing out there is I was documenting some really cool Native American ruins. And I mean, she's running around like crazy every day. And I'm thinking, okay, if she had a lung issue, she'd be huffing and puffing. She'd also be coughing. She doesn't cough hardly at all, just maybe once a month, And so that's not typical of a dog that has, lung disease and lung cancer. And so I thought, I'm gonna take a chance here and wait a little bit and see, because I didn't want to start that really harsh chemo like right after she got done with surgery. Like the intravenous chemo would be much more difficult on her. And I was like, I don't want that. Like, I want her to have some good times. And I want to have some good times with her because I was starting to feel better myself. And it was a little bit selfish on my behalf, but also too, I was taking a gamble on that. I knew what's up, baby girl, that I knew what you doing? You coming over here? most of the day. She sits here, and then I sit and work on the computer, and we hang out. So, but my gamble though to not jump into that harsh chemo right away was it looks like it was the right one. So I'm real happy about that because I didn't want to make her suffer more, and have the runs and be throwing up all the time. And then she feels bad about that. Anytime she ever gets sick, you can tell she feels so bad. She's like ashamed. I'm like, it's okay. Like, don't worry about it. It's cleaned up. So, but all right, let's see here. Oh, let's see. We've got a super chat. Kathleen. Oh, thank you, Kathleen. I appreciate that. All right, thanks, everybody. I was just kind of going off there, and I wasn't really I wasn't paying attention to the comments here. So let's go back to the comments and see. Then Cheryl Schmidt, thank you so much for $10 there. Thanks. There's lots of super chats, and I apologize. I missed that. So all right, cool. Let's see. We're getting back up here. All right, let's see, Greg. What's up, man? Cheers from Miss Sierra. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that, man. Lots of love, Brian and Sierra from Emmy Green. Thank you, Desert Deb. Oh, those are some good little emojis there. Let's see here. Full spectrum CDG saved my life. Paula Mounts. Oh, okay. I'm wondering if you had cancer too, or something like that. So, Alan Weiss are hanging there. Brian, it's tough. We just lost our. Oh man, I'm sorry to hear that, Alan. That you lost your course a couple months ago. That's just tough, dude. So yeah, but she's doing great though. I mean, like, she's like we were running around these ruins, and the reason why she's licking herself here is I think I need to shave this part of her body because I know, sweetie, because she got hit with a cactus when we were I know, pumpkin. Jesus crazy. She got hit with a cactus right there when we were out hiking these ruins. We were coming down this one area, and she decided to take a different route, and it got a little too steep, and she couldn't hold her feet in that spot, so she kind of slid down this red rock, and at the base of it was a cactus. And I mean, I was pulling out spines like that, and also there were the small spines too. So, but so Ted Dive Talk. I feel like we're in one of your videos here in the middle of nowhere. Hope everything's going good down the Caribbean, man. Those dives that you've been posting about on the community section of your page look awesome. So, all right, Diane Briston, good morning back at you. Vivian Sanchez, Sierra will overcome. She's a warrior. That's right. She's definitely a warrior. So, Guan and Bob, gosh, hope those having a Daisy on the road. Let's see here. But I would try cannabis oil. Oh yeah. Well, she's been on cannabis oil the whole time. So we've got full spectrum cannabis oil, which has been going good. Let's see, what else have we got? My puppy is now 1.5 years old. Oh man, that's awesome, Baby Yoda. Yeah, that's the one thing about having dogs though. Like you say, you wish they could live forever. Like I knew going into this that I was gonna outlive her, And so that's kind of one of the tough things that to deal with is that that eventually, unless there's an accident that happens, you're probably gonna outlive your animal. So the best we can do is just love the hell out of them, and just make sure that they know that they're in good hands. And it's fun with Sierra because she like literally she sleeps right next to me, just in that little pillow over there. And also I'll wake up in the middle of the night and she's got a little head tucked into mine. I'm just like, oh, she's just the best. And she's a great companion because like out here, even though I like being alone and myself, it's nice to have a heart, like a warm heart to talk to, like another beating heart. With her, I just kind of just chat with her throughout the day and we just run around the ranch and have fun. So let's look outside again. It just cleared up. It's been going like this, kind of intermittent back and forth to where it's been snowing and then it's not snowing and then it's snowing. And ooh, that's real bright. Let's see if I can change. Let me see if I can alter this real quick. Let's see, sharpness. Okay. It's still a little too bright. Well, I was going to show you that the ridge out there looks really cool, but it's too blown out right now. And for some reason, the eyeglasses that I use doesn't work well. For those who haven't seen my camper real quick, I just want to show you. What I bought was it's a 1971 Yellowstone vintage camper, and bought it from some folks that were in Eagle, Colorado, and they took out everything in here except for there's like a bathroom right here. Well, it's actually just like a closet right over there, but that's the only structure that they kept. And then what's cool is they replaced the roof with this tin stamped roof, which I really like. So you can kind of see it on the backsplash there behind the table. And then what I want to do this year is I'd like to take out this table area because this is a huge area here, which I could create a massive like couch and like hangout area, and then have the fridge underneath it, which could pop out, and then put my put like my cooking area over here where that little bench is next to the bed, and then I could still have the stove area here and knock out the closet walls here, knock these out, and then have the stove kind of like back up in there on like a little pedestal next to the couch here, and then have something over in the corner because like there's a massive amount of room back here that I don't use, and I don't need to have a huge old sink, like a massive sink. And then this burner here is actually too close to the edge of let's do this. There we go. This stove right here, they should have had it towards the back, because now you have to use the back part of it to prepare stuff, and then you bring it up over the stove here. So there's just a couple things I would change, but I mean it's fine for now. You know, it's worked so far. But then and then coming back over this way, this is where I have my wood stove down here at the bottom, and it's kind of tucked in there. And then I've got, this is all welding cloth that I've used, and I use double cloth to give it a double layer. And then like, you know, if you put your hand on the side here, it's pretty warm. You put it behind here, and it's cool. It's cool to the touch on the door, so you don't have to worry about the heat getting in. That's just temporary for the meantime. And then coming back over here, it's a little bench area where I sit, and then, you know, back where Sierra is again. What's up, girl? What you doing? She's a little happy dog. She's like, "What are we doing today? You're gonna feed me some more treats?" So anyway, also too, I talked to YouTube, and they were real cool. Like when I talked to them, I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Like these videos that normally historically get like the same amount of views every day each year on my channel, like they're all starting to kind of fade a little bit." And they initially I thought I was being like censored, you know, but they came back with like, "Hey, we're totally cool with your content. Like it's all good, and let us share with you some global statistics and some trends on YouTube as a whole, not just pertaining to you, but that pertains to your lifestyle, and that way you could maybe curtail or focus on a few different things with your videos going forward." So I was like, okay. So they sent over this information, and all of the winter camping stuff and off-grid stuff, it's such a saturated market now on YouTube that you get lost in the shuffle. And then also too, that stuff is starting to trend down a little bit. Like people aren't searching for it as much as they used to. And so, you know, things change. And on my channel, like when I started out, I started doing I started doing how-to videos initially, because there weren't a whole lot of people that were out full-time truck camping at that time. And I don't know, that there's probably more now, but there's still not a lot of full-time people out there. You know, it's most of it is like part-time stuff, or like, you know, like with me, I've got this here to like chill out, but then I can go get in my truck and go truck camp for an indefinite amount of time, then come back. You know, most people are like in that boat. But back when I was doing it full time, I didn't see a whole lot of other people out there doing it full time. So I would talk about videos like, "Hey, this is what I do." And then I realized that content kind of got tired, and so I started doing lifestyle stuff, and the winter camping stuff, of course, went crazy. And then now going forward, I think it's more of just like, I don't know, focusing on how you can get to this point. You know, like I think that's the biggest question a lot of people have is like, "Cool, I want to do that. How'd you get there?" You know, and it's like it took a long time to figure it out because there's not really a blueprint for it. And so it'd be easy if it was like, "Hey, you do these steps and then, you know, you're there." But it doesn't work like that. And so, you know, if I can provide guidance or anything like that to my videos, that's probably what I'll do going forward. And then obviously too, documenting Sierra stuff, and then documenting the build projects around here, because everything's been real slow to get going. I've just had so many distractions with my truck, and then that ATV that I bought from Ride Now Phoenix. It's just the steering, and it's all jacked up, and they won't do anything about it to fix it. I've got a warranty on it, so I can get it done, but it's just a pain in the ass that I have to trailer it myself to a dealer, and they won't make good on their word, and it's just annoying. And then, you know, some of the things around here, I hurt my foot, so I couldn't build for a while. So like all the build projects are on hold at the moment. But like I've got some friends. I met a guy named Rob. He lives down in Prescott at the laundromat. He's really cool, and he was like, "Hey, I got all this extra metal roofing that we're not using. If you want to use it up at your place," and he actually brought it up here, which is cool. We hung out for a bit, and that's enough to finish the ATV shed. So I've got the metal that I got from my neighbor, and they look a little bit different, which I like the contrast, the two different types of metals that I have for the roof. But the stuff that I got from my neighbor is enough to cover the vaulted portion, like the slanted roof portion of the ATV shed, which is going to be a big rain catchment system. But then on the back portion of the shed, I want to build a little just like studio room up top. And I think that'd be fun. So I put down some foundation beams on the roof of that first level so that I can build something on the second level and have like a full on, little lookout tower room up there, which would be kind of cool because it's on this ridge here. So if I build a second story up there, it's cool. I can look around 360, which would be kind of cool. And so it's kind of nice because like out here where I'm at, I mean, there's no one coming around. And the only way that, like if code wanted to come on your property or something like that, the only way they could do it is if a neighbor complains or like if the police are called or something like that. So they don't even come out here because we're off the county maintenance schedule. So like the roads and stuff like that the county maintains, they don't even maintain the roads out here, so they never come out here, which is nice. So it kind of gives you leeway. You can do whatever you want, really, within reason. You can't build like a 60,000 square foot house back here with no permits. I mean, if you had something that big, you're gonna have to permit it. But you keep things small and just build little outbuildings and a couple hundred square feet apiece, and you're in good shape. So, oh hey, it's Marlef. Thank you very much for that. Let's see, we had another one too. The Amster to 2011. Go Sierra. Let's see, she's over here right now, just kind of chilling. What you got, girl? You licking up your feet? The allergies have been bugging her a little bit as of late. So I've been feeding her Benadryl, and it seems to work really well. It makes her nose stop running, and then the itching kind of is at a minimum. But I think that's where the cactus may have hit her. So I'll shave that and then go through with tweezers. I go through every night looking for stuff. I haven't found anything yet, but we'll see what's up there. So all right. And then okay, K-Man New York, $10. Thank you very much. LOL. Thanks for tuning in. GGD, what's going on? Good morning. The Quantum Bob, I have a lot to learn and willing to have. Yeah, cool, man. Hey, well, Rob Moore, what's up, man? Yeah, if you all get any questions about that stuff, let me know. I mean, it's going off grid and like living in your truck and everything. A lot of it is just kind of figuring out what you want to do because you can go in any direction you want, really. Especially with like a truck build. If you have a truck that's like Toyota or Dodge Ram, like any of those trucks, things have got so many aftermarket parts. And if you have a bigger bed than what I have, I just got the 5-foot bed. But if you got a bigger bed than that, you'd be in good shape as far as building out a nice, comfortable space. And I look at other trucks that have big beds. I'm like, oh man, that looks so comfortable. But then I think about just how nimble my truck is in the backcountry, so it's kind of nice. But going off grid and everything, what I would say is, the first thing that you want to do is like, first thing that I did was I started just getting rid of all my stuff just to make sure that I was cool with being a minimalist and living in my truck. So I started testing it out. I go out about 2 or 3 weeks at a time. Then I come back to Denver, then go back out 2 or 3 weeks at a time, come back to Denver, see if I get into a flow when I was out there. Also, too, when I was at my house before I left full time, I would cook all of my meals on all of the stove gear that I was going to use when I was out truck camping. So that way, when I got out there, I didn't skip a beat with nutrition. So that seemed to help a lot, which was nice. And then I can tell you that whatever build out you're going to use for your vehicle, you're going to change it once you get on the road, because you realize once you get out there that maybe whatever you built isn't quite ideal. And you build things according to what you do. Like I like to fly fish, and fly fishing in Colorado, some of those high altitude lakes are hard to get to. So I built out my truck so I could get up there. And then the little small space in the back is just really a space to sleep in. It's not a space for me to hang out in because it's not really big enough to hang out. And so I did that thinking, okay, well, this is going to encourage me to be on my feet all day and just backpack like crazy and go all over. And so that's what I did. I mean, I just was on my feet nonstop, always out hiking. Me and Sierra were hitting trails every single day, fly fishing and all that stuff. And then I got sick with Giardia, and that kind of changes a little bit. But we're getting back there for sure. And this past couple of weeks when I was out documenting those ruins, like we had a great time hiking around. I was hiking every day from like 9 in the morning to like 5:30 at night, 6 at night, almost when the sun was going down. And I would get in the truck and I would eat dinner, and by 7 o'clock I'd be asleep like every night because I was just so worn out from that. So, but it was cool. So, all right, let's see here. We got some weird. I need to hide some users on the channel here. So, all right, cool. Oh, cool. Rob Dobb. Hello, Brian from the UAE. Missing the winter weather. Yeah, it's nice out here. It's not snowing right now. Let me look at the radar. That's because we got some. We should have more. It's coming in waves today, and we've got one coming in. Let's see, 70% chance. Snow showers likely mainly before 1 p.m. Okay, it's only 9 right now, so we should be in good shape. Radar satellite. And satellite looks like we've got quite a bit of stuff coming our way from Southern California. I need to plug this in real quick. Hang on, and we'll get going. All right, cool. All right, let's see here. Oh, Melina Elizabeth, thank you so much for that super chat. All right, the most important thing is, is you have your baby girl. That's right, Sharon. I am so pleased that she's doing well, and she's just she's just a blast to have out here, you know. And like, I mean, I know one day she's not going to be here, but I just didn't want it to be cut short, you know, because her breed, I mean, they can live like 15 years. You know, she's only 8. And I was thinking like, man, even if it's just, you know, I mean, I'm pleased with any additional time with her, but I would be heartbroken if it was only like another 6 months or something, you know. And to see her health being so good and like all the test results came back positive, like you know, she's doing great. Her blood work is perfect. All the extensive tests they did on all of her systems are perfect. Like they're like my doctor was like, I was shocked. She was like, after reading the amount of cancer that she had extracted from her body 6 months ago, she was like, I thought for sure her system would show signs of stress, and it's not there. So she's like, she's doing great. She's in great health. And I was like, you know, I got to wait to get my truck fixed because I got to take it into town and make an appointment. And I got to wait for after this storm passes so I can actually get out of here because the roads are just going to be impassable. And so I was like, yeah, is it cool if we wait a couple weeks for the CAT scan? She's like, oh, yeah. She's like, I totally feel comfortable, you know, waiting because she's not in pain. She's not showing any signs of sickness. Nothing's in her blood. Like she looks like she's got textbook health. So let's just, you know, we'll stay on top of this, but it's nothing's urgent right now. So it just feels great to have a little bit of a breathing room, you know, because it just felt like ever since I got the diagnosis that all I've been doing every day is really, really paying attention to her and trying to make it to where there's no stress here, to where she can just chill out, she can just sleep all day and just relax and have and because like you know, cancer, like stress feeds cancer, and so you know, I have to like keep my emotions in check when I have things that come up around here that are frustrating or whatever, because I don't want her to get stressed out. And also too, if I'm out doing something around the ranch and she's been running around and she's like tired and wants to take a nap, then I'll put on some really relaxing music for her in here. And she likes like I there's this channel on YouTube called Lo-Fi hip hop and beats music to study to or something like that. It's real mellow. I'll put that on there, and she's asleep in 5 seconds. Like she loves that music. So whenever I want her to chill out in here, I'll just put that on. She's like zonks out, and then I'll go out and work on the ranch and stuff. So it's pretty cool. So, um, oh, okay, yeah, Baby Yoda, my Radar Pro. I'll check that out, man. So let's see what else we got. Joe Teeter, good morning from Central Michigan. Good morning back at you. How much snow do y'all have there in Central Michigan? I bet it's much more than here. So, see, Quantum Bob had the same feelings as you, Brian. Cool, man. Yeah, I just got tired, you know, of living in the corporate world, and I started becoming an angry person because we're not. I wasn't really angry outside, but I was angry inside. I was still nice to everybody, but I was just like, man, I can't do this shit. Like, pardon my language, but as I was just like, this is not for me, you know. And I noticed like the real competitive nature. I was in sales, so corporate sales is like the worst. It's just cutthroat. And unless you're on a team that really likes each other, like everybody backstabs and tries to get each other's accounts and stuff like that. And I just got tired of like the snaky approach to that. And on top of it too, like salespeople generally have an opportunity to make good money. So you know people that were making good money, and you see how I'd change them. I'm like, dude, don't turn into a dork just because you just made a couple months of good commission. Like, you know, that can easily go south. So don't sit there and like pretend like you're head honcho just because you got a couple bucks in your pocket, because you're not special in that regard. And so once I saw that, and then on top of it too, like once I had a business and I saw how poorly the publicly traded companies treat their vendors, because I was a vendor of all the home builders in Denver, and they're all publicly traded, and they could care less about paying you on time. Like they don't care at all. And a lot of the times they come from like the VP of finance, and they'd hold invoices and stuff like that, especially when it came to like the end of the year, because they want to look like they have a bunch of cash on hand for, you know, stock price and stuff like that. And so third quarter, you know, going into fourth quarter that all your invoices were going to get held. And I'm like, So why should I have to save up like 100 grand to front these jobs for my employees to, so they can get paid, and then wait 3 months so I can get paid? Like they know my terms are pay in advance. And it was funny too, when I owned that business, all of the payment terms that I had were prepayment, and everybody was late. They're like, "Hey, we'll get that prepayment to you," and I'd be like, "It's not a prepayment if it's late." Like that's not hard to figure out, And I'd say that to them because I was like, "I'm done." And I think I stayed in it too long because I got to the point where I was really pissed by the time I left. And when I left, it was great because it was like a breath of fresh air. I got on the road, got rid of that business. My cousin runs it now, and got just like got everything off my plate and tried to deprogram my mind of like not guilty on a Monday morning of not being in the office, which was the weirdest feeling. I'd feel guilty if I wasn't like out in office working. I'd be like, I gotta get this out of my mind. That took a couple of years for that to escape, to finally leave my system. But I can tell you that getting over that, I pushed myself really hard to be alone and to really challenge myself because I feel like being alone is the hardest thing to do, but it's also the most empowering because idle's time as a devil's playground is definitely true. It'd be easy to sit back here, and have beers every day and just smoke pot and just do nothing. But it's like that's not going to do anything for me, and that's actually bad. I mean that leads down to the end game. There is a bad result, and so I'm not saying anything bad about drinking or smoking pot. If you're of legal age and you want to do that, that's your call. And I like marijuana. I prefer that over beer or alcohol, just because I feel like alcohol kind of brings you down the next day, and marijuana doesn't seem to do that. But teach their own. Some people just don't like that stuff. And so, but I saw how that could easily take over if you didn't have a strong mind. And so I worked on having a strong mind out here of like staying focused on my end goal, which was getting to here. Like after that first year of being on the road, I changed my mind. The first year I was like, I said, I want to find a cool place to live. And so I drove all over. I drove like, gosh, I think that first year I drove like 30,000 miles. And I was like Colorado, northern New Mexico, southeast Utah, northern Arizona, parts of Southern California, but I didn't want to live there because I'd lived there before. I used to live in San Clemente, and California is not for me anymore. But I drove all over looking for places to live, and that first year came up. I'm like, well, I don't want to stop doing this. This is a blast. I'm just going to live in my truck. And so that changed my mindset to like, okay, the long-term goal is now to get off-grid property somewhere to where no one's around and it's off the beaten path and no one really knows where it's at, but it's like a little slice of heaven. And I feel like I found it back here because with how quiet it is and how there's no one around, and with the price, I mean, I got almost 15 acres for like a little over 20 grand. And it's awesome. I mean, it's gone way up since then because I locked in that price last year. Um, but still, I mean, there's still land around here. It's not that bad. I found this really killer cabin that this guy had hand built over probably 30 miles to the east of me. It's on 14 acres, and he calls it a cowboy cabin. Oh no, 20 acres. And cool place. It's like 750 square feet. It's 2 levels, got a sleeping loft up top, and really unique on the inside. Really cool character, and really great land too. Really nice trees and everything. Varied terrain, got a little creek that goes through it, and he wanted 170,000 for it. I'm like, that's a good price because like in Colorado, that'd be like 500,000 easy, if not more. I mean, 20 acres with a house on it in Colorado is ungodly expensive. And I saw the codes in Colorado just kept on getting more and more restrictive because I moved there when I was right out of college in 1998, and that was kind of nice because that was back when like Denver wasn't big. There was actually cow pasture between Boulder and Denver, and now it's just one big city. But so anyway, but back to being on the road. So like the long-term goal was to get out here. And so that's why I just grinded for, those following 6 years while I was on the road. Cause I did 7 total years on the road. And then, and that's including the winter camping. I did have that one winter where I did a partial winter caretaking of that cabin, but that was only for 2 months for my friend Mike. And so after that, I went back out to tent camping until the weather warmed up. And I can tell you, like it was awesome, but my body's beat up from it because, living in that tiny little truck and just banging trails every day, and then winter camping, which is extremely labor intensive, but I was doing it full time. So it wasn't like I was going out, a couple of days a week and filming and then and then putting that up. Like I was putting up videos like every other day, and then I was moving all the time too because I was going in between private and public land. But my first winter, I was on public land the full time, which is actually that wasn't legal. That was against the law. So I shouldn't have stayed out there. But I injured my leg really bad, and I told the Forest Service about it, so they actually gave me a hall pass. But I burned my leg. I spilled bacon grease on my leg here, and my synthetic long underwear melted into my leg during a snowstorm, and it was like 3 feet of snow on the ground, and I couldn't get to town. So I knew this doctor in town, and I called him, and he FaceTimed me with iPhone, and I was like, "What do I do?" And he's like, "You need to scrape all that skin off." Do I have to do it right now? He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Shit," because I didn't have any pain medication, and so I held the phone, got out my big old knife, and I just started going down, and that was the most excruciating pain I've ever had. I had to get it down to like the dermal layer because everything was burned, and you can't let that synthetic stuff when your body starts to try to heal, you can't let that synthetic stuff stand there because you'll get infected real bad. So I had it all the way down my leg. It was from here, the worst part was up here right by my calf, but all the way down the leg, then it stopped here, and then I had it on the top of my foot. And so that was really nice. So that was the only time that I actually went over the 2 week limit. Other than that, what I was doing, like even like last winter. So I've got friends all throughout central Colorado that have ranches, and some of them are pretty awesome. They got great places to camp. And so they'll just be like, "Hey man, if you want to get out of the public eye a little bit, you're welcome to come up here." Because people do roll up on me at camp, not at winter. I've not had that yet, but during the summertime, it's often. People will come up to camp, which is cool. Like I'm out there truck camping, and like that's kind of my domain, if you will. And so people will say what's up, and that's fine. But after a while, you kind of want to have like a little bit of peace and quiet. And so it was nice in the winter. Like my friends Rick and Katie was like come on up to our ranch and you can camp up here. And so I did that one time. I've got some other friends down in Salida that I can camp outside of their place. I know some people down over by Crested Butte. So early season, Crested Butte gets way too cold. Late season or mid during the main part of winter, but early season it's awesome out there. So I got some friends out there, obviously some friends down in southern part of Colorado as well. And so I've got a nice network of places where I can camp and not be on public land. But public land's pretty cool. It's nice to go out there and really see the wildlife and all that stuff. So I enjoyed it. But with doing that full time and like moving all the time and constantly grinding it out and being in pretty cold temperatures, I had nights where it was negative 35. I mean, that's pretty gnarly. And you're just chewing through resources and doing and going through wood and just busting your butt, and you don't sleep at all. And so after like 7 years of doing that, I realized I'm like, I need to chill out. I mean, I'm super skinny right now. I'm still about 20 pounds underweight, but I'm trying to get everything back. And coming back from that Giardia it's just been crazy. But being on the road has been the best thing. I could not imagine being in the corporate world right now, considering how bad it was when I left. I couldn't imagine what it's like now, with all the things that have gone on. And so that's where I feel like I feel a little fortunate that I had my um, I don't know if you want to call it like life realization moment or whatever. A lot of people were calling it a midlife crisis when I first hit the road because everybody told me it wasn't going to work. But I was like, no, nah, it's going to work. I just got to stay out the longest. Like that was my strategy. I was like, well, if I just stay out the longest, I'll beat everybody. So it kind of worked, I guess, because the channel took off. So, but going forward, it's just it's kind of interesting to get this ranch because I haven't really found my groove with filming it. So the content's been a little weird, I think, but I'll find it. It just takes a while to get it going. And then also too, I've been spending a lot of time doing the Native American stuff, which I don't put any of that stuff out on this channel because I just don't want to have it, like I'd feel horrible if those ruins were spoiled because of something I put up. And so I just don't put it up. So like, for those last like better part of 3 weeks, I've been out in the field documenting stuff, and it's like I'm not posting to YouTube during that time, so it's pretty light on the content. But that's my commitment to those I work with and the archaeologists is that anything that I work on myself, it's not going to go on the channel. And I was like, look, I am adamant about that, and so just a heads up. But all right, let's see here. What have we got? Uh, the Smiths. Oh, cool. Let's see. Aaron is tuning in from Montana above the Smith River, where it's toasted 21 degrees out here. That's awesome. Yeah, I think it's about 21 here too. I checked the temperature. It was right around 20. So, um, So Diane Briston, so land, where all are you searching? Well, I was searching actually the entire Southwest, and there's still some spots that I really want to check out. Like Silver City, New Mexico's got some cool areas to the north of it, right up next to the Gila wilderness area. That's a cool area. There's some places over in Utah that I like that are real small. And then also Western Colorado, there's some small places which I don't want to talk about because they'll get blown up eventually, but that'd be kind of cool too. But and then also Missouri, I really like the Ozarks, like the Mark Twain National Forest down there, and all those springs. Like that's a cool area. So and the relation, the proximity to northern Arkansas is really cool. So all right, Woman Outdoors, hello from Pennsylvania. Hello back at you. So Quantum Bob, Very Wise Brian, thank you, brother. One Blaze Ganja. That's funny. I do have let's see. Oh, it's not here. I've got it in my cooler. It says just I have these concentrates that I use, and there's one that's a high CBD one. Man, it's the best for body pain. It's just the best. So all right. Let's see, baby. There are many processes that can be joined, and many claims are on BLM. Yeah, that's true. That's a good one to talk about, Baby Yoda, for Kenny there. Um, so mining claims are a great way to get really remote land because you can get it to where you're surrounded on all sides by BLM or national forest. I have a friend that I recently met, and we've gone camping with him and his family, and it's really cool because his family has this area just south of Prescott, and they've got like 100 acres, and it's an old mining claim. It's one of the oldest ones in the area, and they got their own little section of privacy in the forest that's like almost a mile off a Forest Service road, so you can't really hear anybody. And they got their own little canyon back in there and water source and everything. And so that's one thing that's really awesome is if you can figure out where to get the information for the mining claims that could be for sale. Some of them are in areas that are inhabitable. You could live there. Other ones are up so high to where they're only accessible, in the dead of summer in Colorado, because in the wintertime it's just avalanche danger and snow is too much. But if you did that, if you got like a mining claim, like that's a great way to get stuff. And actually, that's the way some of the conservation groups were trying to get those uranium companies that wanted to mine Bears Ears. These conservation groups went and got the mining claims so that they couldn't do it. You have to do stuff to keep the mining claim active. So a lot of it isn't like I think you do like surveys and stuff like that out there, but you don't have to actively mine. So, but that's a great way to do it. So, all right, let's see what else have we got. Let's see, Austin went from 80 to 30. Oh, Eric Trimmer said that Austin, Texas went from 80s yesterday to 30s today. Now I think this cold front is just hammering across the country because like Colorado's got it. I know I was talking to my folks in Kansas has been getting it, and so it's definitely hitting across the country. I'm glad to see the snow. I mean, out here there's been nothing, and so we had that one snowstorm right after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's, where I went out with the big tent and went camping. And other than that, this is the next storm. We've had like dustings, but we haven't had anything major. But I guess this time of year is when the weather pattern changes. Instead of the storms coming in from the Pacific, they come in up from the Sea of Cortez. And so apparently that brings up a bunch of moisture. And so like latter part of February and all of March can get hit with some pretty big storms. And the biggest snowstorms that I've had in the past like 5 years have all been out here in Arizona, all around Flagstaff. They just get hammered with some storms, like feet and feet of snow. But then it can be kind of that wet snow that sets up as mashed potatoes and like kind of like concrete, so you got to get out of there real fast. You can't let it start to get warm, because if you do, it won't be good. So let's see. Oh, Aaron, sorry about that. You said it was the county, not in California, but Del Norte County. I'm not familiar with Del Norte County. Let's see, north. I'm in the far north. Oh, okay. I've never been up to the far north of California. That would be awesome, though. I've heard it's cool up there. Let's see here. So someone was asking, do I live in a trailer? Well, part of the time I got this because Sierra's is for to chill out for treatments, but I like to truck camp. And when I was out truck camping this past couple of weeks, it's like I fell in love with it again. It got to a point where it was kind of a pain. I felt like it was just redundant and kind of getting old. And after 7 years of doing it, you get kind of tired. But then being back out there and just having fun, and I've got a more minimal setup now. I'm not taking as much gear with me, which I think helps because having all that clutter around, you just feel like you're unorganized. So, but yeah, it's good. I mean, I like the trailer. It's comfortable, but I'd rather be out in my truck, just kind of bouncing around and seeing stuff because I get bored real easy. And even with all the stuff to do around here, it's like it'd kind of be nice to have a little bit of a change of scenery. So this is kind of like more of like a landing spot for me and Sierra, just to store gear at, stay when the weather is kind of really gnarly, or when she's going through cancer treatment. But I'd rather be in my truck. So we'll probably do like half and half this year. Like half time out on the road, half time back here, bouncing around doing stuff. I know for the summer we'll definitely be up in Colorado again doing some fly fishing. So, but yeah, I mean for now we're living in the trailer. So yes. International viewers. Oh, you're from Mongolia. That's cool. I was just watching some stuff. It looks like such a pretty area up there. So, let's see, Quantum Bob. Thanks, man. I'm glad you're tuning in and that you like the content here. It's been interesting, like my education of going off grid because when I was growing up, I was all in to like be go to college and which I did and go out in the corporate world and get a good job and work well and just be an ethical person and all that stuff. And then you get out there and you realize you're like, wow, this wasn't really what I thought it was going to be. It's like there's a lot of cutthroat business people, and it's unfortunate because a lot of times they seem to succeed, but it's like they did it by cheating other people out. And I've been cheated a million times in my career, you know. And so that's another thing too is like once you get cheated and kind of taken advantage of so many times because you're nice and you want to work as a team and help out and all those things. After a while, you just kind of like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, And that's where I got to, and I just thought it's my life. If I don't make a change, another 10 years could go by and I'll just wake up and the only difference will I'll be older. I'll just have the same disgruntled, perspective. I'll just be older. I'm like, what's the point of that? I gotta get after it. And so that's when I started really, really going full bore for truck camping. And it's you meet the nicest people on the road. Like if I didn't know all the crazy stuff in this world was going on because the news wants to remind us about it every day, I think the world was a pretty good place because the majority of people I interact with are all in a good mood. And I think the reason for that is that they're kind of out doing their own thing. They're outside a lot. They're kind of running around. They don't have the same stresses of like, like the stresses I experience in the corporate world, none of that's out here, so it's pretty nice. So I think in that regard, that's attracted to a lot of people because a lot of people go into a job, you go to a job, it's not like, especially if it's your career, like you take it serious, and then to go in there and be treated poorly or to get passed up for, recognition for the hard work you've done or to get screwed over on pay, which happened to me all the time, especially with commissions and being a salesperson. After a while, I'm like, y'all can have this system. I just don't want it anymore. And I realize I'm like, I can't change. I'm just one person. I can't change the entire system, but I can change my like world that I operate in. And so that's when I started, really seeking out different stuff, and it's worked out, and I'm really thankful. Yeah, because I probably wouldn't do very well in the corporate world right now because I'm outspoken and I'm after all the stuff that I went through, I have a very short fuse for any of that stuff, and so if someone comes at me and wants to partner on something and wants to try to swindle me out of something, like I lose my cool, and I'm like, well, I just want to expose myself to that stuff anymore. And so that's where like it was the best feeling on the planet when I deleted my LinkedIn account. I was like, I don't need this background anymore. I'll never go back to the corporate world. And so I'm just going to go ahead and close that chapter of my life. And that was the best one. Like deleting that and deleting Facebook were the best. Cause I was like, well, I didn't like Facebook because of all the, you know, just negativity and all that stuff on there. So like deleting that one was nice because I thought Zuckerberg was kind of a punk. And then deleting LinkedIn was awesome because I was just like, I don't want to do corporate stuff anymore. So I was like, this is going to be my career going forward. Like, I'd love to learn how to weld. And so I'll probably sign up for some classes. And if I could get, a welding certificate or something like that, who knows? Maybe I could do some work around here for some people and do some kind of hands-on things. And I love doing manual labor. And so the one thing though is like I got to make sure that hot tub is operating at full efficiency because being able to soak and stuff like that is helping me immensely, like work out the aches and pains in my body so I can get back to doing stuff. So but It's about 9:30 here. Sun's coming up, which is kind of surprising. Doesn't look like there's much snow coming in. So I think I'm going to go ahead and log off, and we're going to go and get some stuff done outside. And I want to grab some of the snow, and with the sun coming out, there's something that's going to melt. I put some tarps up to get some water catchment. But anyway, it's funny. Emmy Green, yes, I can't freaking look at LinkedIn anymore. I got the same way. So Camping Allen, that's awesome. It is really great in the sand once week. I'll bet, dude. I bet it. Did y'all get like feet of snow there? Because I heard that it's supposed to get like Southwest Colorado was going to get a ton. So all right, snow's coming by with Josh Greer. Oh, okay, what's up, Josh? How are things at your place, brother? So all right. Let's see what else have we got. Soaking in. Alan, that's us soaking in Colorado gummy bears. That is the best for sure. So, all right, everybody, we're gonna go ahead and log off. Sierra, you want to get going outside and get running around? You want to go for some walks? Oh, by the way, I wanted to let y'all know this coffee is awesome. This is the old Bisbee coffee roasters, and this is the Columbia blend. I got this the other day when I was in Sedona, and that's the best coffee that I've had in a long time. So if you're looking for a good coffee, that's it. It's kind of more of a dark roast. And it's good. I got the full bean, so I'm grinding it up every morning to make a fresh cup, and it's incredible. So, all right, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I've got a video that I'm gonna finish up today. It's on the hot tub and the different changes I've been making to it, and then it'd be kind of cool to show it in the snow. So we're gonna get working on that here, and then I'll probably have that up. I don't know. Let's see, it's Wednesday. Maybe that'll be the Saturday upload. We may do another live stream between now and then. We'll see. But I'm going to get the content coming more regularly. I'm feeling a little bit more motivated now. Just kind of went through a funk there for a bit. But, and also, too, I was out in the backfield. So, all right, I'm off. I'm kind of rambling. You guys have a good day. Thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next one.